All right, Piss and Vinegar Day 161, Accessories Day, and then later I'll upload the Arm Wrestling Day. So I jammed a bunch of shit into one day yesterday. I'm now voice recording it the next day because I was just so busy last week. And that's the beauty of high intensity training, is if you're super busy, you can still train. Last week, if I had to do, hour long, 2 hour long volume set days, not only would I not have the energy, because I was just tired, to get through a 2 hour long bullshit workout of volume, I wouldn't have done it because I just didn't have time. I barely had time to do fucking high intensity for all that matter. I mean, the amount of times as a kid, younger man, whatever, like when I was 18, 19, especially when I first started doing personal training, when people would say, I don't have time to work out, I'd always just go, that's bullshit. That's not true. That's an excuse. And some of it is. Some people do have time for something, but they're just fucking lazy. Or at least they don't have the knowledge of high-intensity training. But now, as I get older, I'm busier and busier and busier, and I don't even have kids yet. I'm like, wow, dude, I genuinely don't have time to work out sometimes. Or at least if I was a volume guy, I would, which is how most people work out, unfortunately. So now that I'm doing high-intensity training, I can actually get the workouts in. And that was one of the biggest problems with volume. Like volume, even if, let's say, just say like high intensity and volume give you the exact same results, which they do if you do both right. One, you can actually adhere to if you're busy. And if you're busy, you're probably too lazy too. Like the amount of times this week I've just been exhausted at the end of the week. If I was doing volume, I wouldn't have done even if I had time, I wouldn't have done it because I was just too fucking tired. And I don't want to spend 2 hours in the gym doing a nonsense workout that doesn't give me results anyway. Whereas knowing that I only have to do 15, 20 minutes, bam, that's not a fucking problem. I just put the rest of my energy into that workout and I'm all good. So yeah, high intensity has been a lifesaver this week because I've just been so busy and probably be even busier this week. So good thing I got high intensity. And like, man, one day when I have kids and my job's even more busy and I got even more on my plate, I imagine that I'll probably switch to like upper lower or a push-pull legs high-intensity split and just shove more shit into the training sessions because I just won't have time to split up, the body parts like I have been. Or maybe I'll do 2 days or whatever it is. Or maybe I'll just do less and, maybe get a little bit less results. But ultimately, like, you can get 95% of the shit done in an upper-lower split. You would just do the upper body, high-intensity training, 30, 40 minutes, and then leg day the next day or like not the next day, like a few... the recovery that you'd have if you were training like that too. Like you would never have to worry about overtraining. You'd never have to worry about, your how hard you're going. You could just really give it your all if you're training twice a week because central nervous system is so very well recovered. And that's probably the ideal way of doing it is, 1 to 3 or 4 sessions a week. I like doing 4 or 5, I was doing 6 when I was bulking, just based off the fact that I love training every day. But now that I'm getting busier and now that I'm in a weight cut, maybe I do need more rest. And maybe because I'm busier, I need to, jam more things into one workout so my central nervous system isn't taking as much of a toll. So, yeah, man, if you're busy as shit, you don't have time to work out, do HIIT. You'll have time because there's such a short workout. And you get better results because you won't feel as lazy throughout the workout because it's a Band-Aid you rip off rather than pulling off that Band-Aid real slow, yeah? So... real busy this week. And the other thing is too, like I started MMA and I started getting, I picked up a shoulder injury. So I had to like take a day off here and there. And yesterday when I was training, I was feeling it. And I don't know how this week's going to go. But I'm going to start investing some money in myself and get a physio and get a chiropractor for my lower back also. Because for the longest time, I just didn't have money to buy, pay for a physio and shit. So I would just put up with the ailments. But now that I'm doing MMA, like... I could get away with weight training, no problem. Sometimes I get a few issues here and there, which wasn't the weight's fault. It was just that I got all these physical ailments' fault. But now that I have the money, and if you have the money yourself, you should get a team around you. Get a physio if you have physical ailments. Get a marketing guy if you're trying to run a business. It costs money, yeah, but in the long run, it's going to make you more money in turn. One of my clients is a perfect example of this. She's a business manager. And when she started spending thousands of dollars getting a team around her. She started with a physio so she could physically get in the position where she could then get a PT. And then she got a really good psychologist. And then she got, a chiropractor. And this all cost her thousands of dollars because the reality is to get a good variation of a good physio, good PT, good marketing expert. You got to spend a few $1,000s to get through the bullshit ones until you get the one that works. But ultimately, what happened with her is when she got to the physio, who got her the physical capability to then get a PT, that then was a cornerstone to get her nutrition in place, and then she went to a psychologist and all these different things. Now, not only is she no longer in pain, she's lost 35 kilos in the last 6 months through my expertise and all these just amazing benefits. She's making far more money in her business managing company because she can focus better. She's happier. She's got more energy. She can physically move around. All these things compound. And yeah, she spent a few $1,000s to get these things, but now she's making thousands upon thousands of dollars more in her, business because she has more mental capacity. So yeah, you don't want to spend money sometimes, but if you have spare money, it'll only make you more money in the long run, especially if it's like, a business or something and you get someone to work the marketing. If you suck at that, yeah, it sucks. You have to spend some money to do that. But in the long run, it's going to make you more money in turn. So you got to look at it like that. You are an investment, and your physical body is the most important investment because otherwise it falls apart and then you can't do fucking anything. So that's how I saw it. I want to do MMA. I'm really enjoying the MMA. MMA is fucking dangerous. And I didn't even have a freak injury or anything. I was just simply doing takedowns, and because my shoulder's all fucked up, every time I'd slam my shoulder into a dude's stomach, it would just get more and more nerve impingements into that left shoulder. Now I'm really paying for it, and I have to get it sorted. Otherwise, I can't do MMA, which I really started really enjoying that, which also allowed me to pick up some clients at MMA. It also allows me to burn more calories at MMA, which makes my cutting process better, which makes my marketing capability as a personal trainer and for this channel better. It gives me incentive to stretch when I go to MMA. So it's all compounding. Everything reflects off each other. And if I can't do them, then I lose a huge benefit that will ultimately further me towards my goals of being a bigger, stronger, more successful monetarily person, right? So invest in yourself. It's worth it. You might see it as losing money, but in some way it will make you more money in return, or, health is wealth ultimately. That's the main thing. I see things as money because I want money. I want to buy a house. I want to have a stable future for wife and children and all this shit. But also, just it's good to be physically capable. Yeah. So that's the other thing. Shoulder's a bit fucked up. It's feeling a bit better today. I did a bunch of kind of rehabbing exercises that I already know how to do. Because this is the thing too. As a PT, I have a hard time getting a physio because it's like, dude, I know how to physio myself. I've been a physio for clients whose physios absolutely suck, and they have injuries where I have a decent understanding of them and I'm able to rehab them. But for me, I have so many fucking ailments from playing video games for such a long time that I do need someone who has vastly more expertise than I do to really nail this home and get it done quick. I could get this done, but it's going to take more time, and time is of the essence. So that's another thing. If you play video games, stop that shit immediately. For one, it's terrible for you mentally. I mean, you should be working on your, mental health, your physical health, your business, all these other things, rather than playing video games all day under maybe the impression that you're going to make money from it, Twitch streaming and shit. But every kid and his dog's trying to do that nowadays, and you're not a genetically gifted Korean kid with a fucking 5 millisecond reaction time. And even if you are, it's the chances are slant. And even if you were to become a successful gamer, like, is that really what you want to do? That's what I tried to do for a long time. Not only did I not achieve it, even if I did, I don't think I'd be a better man for it. So, terrible for your brain, terrible for your work ethic. It's escapism at its best. It's shit. But on top of that, it physically fucks you up. I had been playing video games from like 6 to fucking 24 years old. And some of those periods of time, I was playing 8, 9, 10 hours of games a day when I was trying to play a competitive scene or whatever, right? And now I am fucking paying from it. Weights and shit like that, like lifting weights doesn't inherently give you physical ailments. If anything, it gets rid of them. But if you have physical ailments going into weights, you're going to exacerbate them, right? And my shoulders are all fucked up, my elbows, my neck, my upper back, lower back, hips, knees, everything's fucked from just sitting around all day playing video games like a fucking idiot. It's terrible for you. It's terrible for your posture. And if you are to play video games, I highly suggest that, every hour or so, get up and walk around, do some stretches, preventative measures, make sure, maybe try playing on a stand-up desk, that way you're standing up straight and, your posture's good at least. But ultimately, all the preventative measures in the world aren't going to override the fact that you're sitting in a chair 8 hours a day, and that's going to physically fuck you up in many aspects, especially the hip flexors, which then fucks up your back. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Stop playing video games for numerous reasons, but numero uno is just to simply make sure that you physically are in a better position to then lift weights and do all these other things because I'm paying for it now. And I'm going to be paying for it monetarily very soon in a physiotherapist to try and reverse these issues that could have been easily avoidable by just not playing fucking video games all the time. And, you know, until about 23, 24, I was playing video games way too much. Had I spent 18 to 24 not playing video games and focusing on business and YouTube and shit like that, I'd be fucking rich by now. 100%. Like and you probably thought of this yourself, and now you think, oh, it's too late. You know, it's too late to get in shape. It's too late to make money. Too late to be this, that, and the other. I'm just going to escape into video games. But it's just not fucking true. It's never too late. It's just sometimes earlier is better, right? But hindsight's 20/20. So if you don't want to have physical ailments like I do at 26, which is fucking stupid to have, you shouldn't be physically fucked up at 26, especially if you're an active person that eats really well like I am. But I am. And that's from video games. And if you're not feeling it right now, you'll feel it soon. It's going to come. You know, when I started feeling it really early because I guess I'm genetically inclined to have physical ailments. Like a lot of my family members have fucked up joints and shit. But, you know, if you're like 16 right now, you feel all right, well, come back to me at 25 and see how you physically feel from playing video games all day. Bye-bye.